It was close. Less than 3 hours before an official government shutdown, senators voted to pass a stopgap bill, and it averted the crisis, at least for now.
Yeah, they voted on a bill that passed in the House earlier in the day. It passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, including disaster relief funds. But it has no new aid money for Ukraine. The vote 335 to 91 in the House, in the Senate 88 to 9.
Now, as much as this is good news, it does not fully solve the problem. So what happens next? Public interest attorney Kaivan Shroff is here to break it all down for us. Kaivan, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us at this early hour.
Great to join.
Yeah, let's get right to it. What happened yesterday is certainly good news. Walk us through it, but we're not out of the woods yet.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, this is a 45-day extension. It's essentially kicking the can down the road.
Right.
No new funding for Ukraine, and also none of the sort of MAGA border policies and budget cuts. But we'll see if in 45 days we're back to the same standoff. So not out of the woods yet.
And, you know, for so many people at home, it can be confusing to understand exactly what this all means and how it impacts them inside their lives. So give us some of the big points.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest one, especially here in New York, we have 50,000 federal employees. So those employees could go without paychecks. Right. They could be furloughed. Now, they do get back pay, but for a lot of these people, they're not ready to absorb that sort of economic shock, especially if we're right before the holiday season.
Right.
Also, monuments, public parks shut down, so affects tourism, and of course, federal funding.
Right.
Let's talk about the impact at the airports. This really affects New York in a lot of ways, and this potentially would come right at the height of the holiday travel season. It could be really a mess.
Absolutely, and especially New York is a huge part of the U.S. economy. So if the economy's lagging, New York's economy is lagging, Wall Street could be affected. Shopping on Fifth Avenue, we have some of the busiest airports, so travel could be widely affected. So huge consequences here.
Right, and then also let's talk about people who need those federal programmings in their life. We're talking about Medicaid, Medicare, WIC, student loans. How does this impact them?
Fortunately, Medicare, Social Security, those entitlements are funded as long as the shutdown, if it would happen, is less than 3 months. But programs like WIC, we got 200,000 New Yorkers, women and infants and children, relying on that supplemental nutrition program. SNAP, 1.7 million New Yorkers relying on that to be fed. That could run out of money.
Yeah, how quickly does that run out of funding?
You know, it sort of really depends on the demand. Certainly the distribution, access to healthy foods like vegetables and things can be limited as, you know, the federal government is burdened by the shutdown. So huge risks here.
Student loans, people are starting to repay those today. How does it impact that?
Absolutely. You know, I think all of these programs, the operations of the government are widely delayed and stalled here. So small business loans, student loans, people can start to see some of those disbursements and stuff slow down, which can be a huge problem.
And certainly servicing of those. I know people can now cut their student loan repayment in half, but if you don't have somebody to work on the financing with you, it doesn't happen.
Kaivan, any reason to believe that it's going to be resolved better next time around in 45 days?
We'll see. You know, it'll have to be a mix-up in the players that hold power with the Republican caucus, and I think we might see some of that. You know, certainly a surprising outcome in the vote. Democrats came through and voted by a huge majority to support this bill, and I think that was unexpected, but we'll see if in 45 days, you know, the Matt Gaetz wing of the party is still sort of holding Congress hostage.
Yeah.
All right. Kaivan, thanks so much for being with us here this morning, kind of digging into the nitty-gritty and getting us out of the weeds, and we're going to hope in 45 days it gets a little bit better.
Exactly.
Thank you, Kaivan. All right, let's